this is all about experiences. This is all about testimonies. I had taken a friend to the doctor. She needed a shot in her back, and, we've been praying for it, and we know the Lord can heal that, but we went to the doctor. Sometimes, God uses doctors. And we're there early in the morning, and I'm trying to get coffee, and this coffee machine's kind of strange, and, they have all kinds of new coffee machines these days. And I can't make this coffee machine work. And this young man behind me walks up, and he says, "Do you need some help?" I said, "I sure do. Please, how do you get this machine to work?" And so he fixes it for me. And so later on I sit down, and I notice he has a Bible. And I began to talk to him about the Lord. And he began to share a testimony with me. And it was really good. And so we left that day and went home. And my friend Marietta, she's here today. I'll have to introduce her in a little bit. She needed to go back again for another shot. So there we were back at the doctor's office. And I'm up at the coffee machine. I'm having trouble with it again. And a man comes up from behind me and he says, "Can I help you?" And sure enough, it's Al again. He helps me with the coffee machine. And so long story short, 3 times this happens. We go back to the doctor 3 times. And then finally I says, "You know what? This is a divine appointment. We're having a testimony service, and I think you're supposed to come and give your testimony. Would you do that?" And he says, "Well, yeah, I'll give you my phone number." And so I called him back later, and he says, "Sure. Yeah, I'd like to come, and I'd like to testify." So right now, I would like to introduce Al to come forward and give his testimony. He's going to tell you what God means to him and what God has done for him.
I come from a kind of a dysfunctional family. It was pretty rough. My dad drank a lot. So it was kind of a rough life. But anyway, I moved out here to Arizona, met a good woman, and married her in 1984. And we're still together today, as a matter of fact. But September 7th, 1986, well, before that, we had a son. In 84, and 2 years later, we had a tragic accident. Our son drowned in our pool. It was back when a lot of drownings here in Arizona were taking place. I thought that was the worst day of my life. I mean, I was beside myself. I actually thought about suicide. Had a gun, all that. I was planning out the time and place I was going to do it. I mean, I was just going to end it all. I didn't want to live. My son was everything to me, and I didn't know how I was going to deal with that. Didn't really know God, but I fell on my face and cried out to him to intervene, do something about this, because if he doesn't, I'm gonna do something bad. And God answered me that day. He spoke to my heart big time, and I really believe I was filled with the Spirit of God that day. I fell on my face, and I felt the most joyful, peaceful feeling I've ever felt in my entire life on like the worst day of my life. And since then, well, shortly after that, I made a public statement in front of I went to a church, found a church, and publicly confessed my faith. Got baptized, all that, and actually, the devil was after me big time because I got like deathly sick right after that. My whole body broke out in boils. I lost almost all my skin. It just like peeled off in sheets. And I thought I was going to die. I was like really sick. and it was like a Job thing. I mean, everything started like going downhill at first, because I led a pretty bad life. Followed after my dad. I drank a lot, smoked marijuana, cigarettes, 2 packs a day. But God healed me though. He took all that stuff away. And now, I mean, I live for Him. He's an awesome God, and we all need Him. And He turned a tragic thing into like a joyous thing. It brought Him glory. Now I tell everyone about Christ. Every chance I get, I read the Word every day. His Word's alive, and it's true, and it's a great thing. But God is a powerful God. So, that's about it.
The Old Testament talks about how the children of Israel were so joyous that they danced before the Lord. And sometimes I wonder if maybe that wouldn't be good if we could do a little bit more of that today. And so we're thrilled that Jackie and her group are here. And just hand it over to her, and she'll give you a little bit more about it.
Thank you. I'm going to tell, there's 2 big reasons why I'm here standing before you. One is 2005, on the way home from Little League, I was making a right-hand turn off of Palisades for you guys who live in Fountain Hills, and my truck is 22 feet long, and I pulled out in front of 2 fast-moving cars, and my son in his uniform says, "Oh! Do you see them?" And I felt the car move. If God didn't intervene, it would have killed my son. It would have killed those 2 small compact cars. And I hope to meet those people someday and say, yes, my son saw the angel, I felt it. Now, in 2010, I was in a near fatal head-on collision, again going down I-10. I was not hit, the car was moved over, but it messed up my back. So I went to the doctor, had an MRI. They said you have 3 herniated discs in 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7 of the cervical. You have spinal stenosis. You have degenerative joint disease. I could not move my arm. I was to get shots. Between 2 weeks, 4 shots, and then wait 2 weeks and get another 4 shots in my spine. I started praying at my church and says, I'm asking the Lord for a new spine. A friend, Debbie, would you raise your hand? Called me. There's Debbie over there. She called me. I hadn't spoken to her in 6 months, and you're supposed to go to the Bride of Yeshua conference, and God is going to show His glory, and you are going to be healed, and you're going to be able to dance. And so I am proud to present and be able to dance before you and share my good news, because He is real, He is truth. And this is a group of minion dancers, and we're from many Messianic congregations, meaning that it's Jewish believers in Messiah and Gentile believers. This first song is going to be, are we doing Testify? So just listen to the words, and I'm going to lead. When we dance Messianic, it goes back to King David and the Lord, and even before then when Moshe said, this is how I want you to worship Him. You worship Him with dance. So if you were to go to a Messianic congregation, you would see a circle, and you would see a dance leader, and you would see all ages dancing. So this is going to be Testify. Thank you so much.